In our last tutorial, we created the coverage periods that we're going to use in setting up our short-term disability coverage. Now that we're in the dashboard under our current plan group, we're going to add the current short-term disability plan to give you a better understanding of the information that we capture within a short-term disability program. I'm going to go ahead and click the plus sign to take us to the wizard, and we're going to go to Add New STD Plan. Now, in terms of adding plans, we're creating these at the employer level, but not at the agency level. So we'll be able to reuse these plans for this employer, but they can't be shared amongst other employers. We need a plan name first. Let's call this the sample current STD. We need a carrier. We're going to go ahead and choose sample carrier. And as soon as I select the carrier, now we're able to get a look at the information we're going to enter surrounding the short-term disability plan. First is going to be our benefit. We've got the option of a percentage of income. So we're going to go with 66.67% of earnings. That's optional. And then we could put in our weekly benefit of $500 per week. We're going to go to elimination period. So in this case, we'll go 7 days accident, 7 days sickness, and for our benefit duration, 26 weeks. Here we're able to enter in, while not required, our pre-existing limitations. So let's just enter in a standard 6-month look back, 6-month treatment free, and 12-month duration. So now we're into definition of disability. So the idea is with definition of disability, we give you a text field so you can actually describe that definition. So if there's any own occupation or any contractual disability definitions we want to point out, you're able to enter that in as a text field. I'm just going to put in standard loss of income, right? With all our plan designs, all our lines of coverage, we're able to enter in plan notes. So let's go ahead and just put in sample STD plan notes. So that's all the information for a short-term disability policy. When I click create, it's going to take us to the next step, which is going to be to associate premiums with that. Now, when we get to premiums, life and disability work around what we call volume type premium, as opposed to enrollment type premiums like medical, dental, and vision. So here's where we're going to put in the STD rate. And in this case, let's put in 0.56. We can enter participation requirements if we need to, although not required. And the rate guarantee also resides under premiums. Once we apply and get our premiums, we're able to go to enrollment. And enrollment in our life and disability type coverages, enrollment always represents kind of the quantity of coverage. So here's where we're going to put the total covered benefit, number of covered lives if we want, and then what that rate, in our case 0.56, is based on, whether it's $10, $100, or $1,000 benefit. So we're going to go in and put in 500,000. Now notice as I start typing, as with our other lines, we need to make sure that our covered benefit amount is divisible by the rate per that we're using. So since we're using a rate per 10, my increments would have to be divisible. My total covered benefit would have to be divisible by 10. We're going to put in 500,000. Let's just say that's 10 covered lives, and go ahead and click finish. Now we see that short-term disability plan in the dashboard. Here we see that enrollment information, our covered lives, our covered benefit, and what our rate per is. Now under here we have our premium, which is actually the charge per that $10 of weekly benefit. We can see underneath the information. We've got our elimination period and benefit duration, our definition of disability, and any pre-existing condition limitations. So that really gives you a look at the information we're going to capture when we create short-term disability coverage. In our next tutorial, we'll discuss more on how we actually work with these plans once they've been added to the